Kingdom Hearts and Harry Potter surprisingly have a lot in common. Both series have an intimidating bald villain, each have heroes running around with magic sticks, and they both helped me ruin any chance of a social life in high school. One thing a lot of Harry Potter fans like to do is look to other pop culture series and try to see how they would correlate with the idea of the four houses. The idea that you belong to certain groups based on personality traits, and how just because you belong in a house doesn't necessarily mean you like everyone in it. And that got me thinking about Kingdom Hearts, and how it could relate. Would Xehanort be a Slytherin? Could Xemnas be a Hufflepuff? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to sort every major Kingdom Hearts character into a Hogwarts house. With that being said, let's get into the video. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I do a lot of gaming content with a lot of it focusing on Kingdom Hearts and other RPGs. I also stream on Twitch where I do a lot of speedruns and challenge runs of games, so be sure to check me out there. All social links are in the description down below. Now let's begin. Before we get into the sorting, we need to go over the houses, more specifically what personality traits represent each house. Let's start with Gryffindor. Everyone knows Gryffindors represent bravery, but they also tend to be very daring, have a lot of nerve, as well as they represent a lot of chivalry. Moving on to Ravenclaws. Ravenclaws are known for their intelligence, knowledge, curiosity, creativity, and wit. As for the Slytherins, their personality traits are ambition, leadership, self-preservation, cunning, and resourcefulness. Lastly, my own personal house, Hufflepuff. Hufflepuffs are known for their hard work, dedication, patience, loyalty, and fair play. Obviously, different characters are bound to have multiple traits from multiple different houses. All I'm going to be looking for is which house the said character tends to fall into the most. Your sortings may not match mine, and that is perfectly fine. If you disagree with my decision, leave a comment down below explaining what house you think a character belongs to and why. Now, let's move on to the sorting. Although Sora is brave like a Gryffindor, I would actually put Sora in Hufflepuff. If you look at the traits of a Hufflepuff, Sora fits into at least 4 of the 5 traits. I wouldn't say he's very patient, but he's very hardworking, has a lot of dedication, and absolutely represents fair play. But most important of all is his loyalty. Sora's loyalty to his friends is a huge piece of his entire character, his motto being, "My friends are my power." It's what he gets most of his power from, and therefore I put Sora in Hufflepuff. Moving next to the right-hand man, I think Riku would be a Ravenclaw. Looking at only KH1 Riku, you could argue he belongs in Slytherin, but since KH1, Riku has matured a lot. He has a lot of intelligence, being honestly one of the smartest Keyblade wielders that we have. But he also shows a lot of curiosity with his journey with darkness, creativity, and wit. I'd argue Riku actually checks off every box being a Ravenclaw. To finish off the Destiny trio, I actually had Kairi in Hufflepuff as well for a bit, due to her sadly being more of a damsel in distress type character for most of the series. Looking at her current character path right now though, I would actually put Kairi in Gryffindor. She showed a lot of bravery in Kingdom Hearts 3, wanting to step out of that shell and to be the one to protect her friends for once, and even wanting to go with Riku to Quadratum. But even looking at past games, she protected Sora as a Heartless even though she wasn't equipped to do anything, and she even charged into the darkness after Pluto, Axel even commenting on how brave of a choice that was. Let's move on to the Wayfinder trio. I actually think Aqua would be in Slytherin. I want to remind people that Slytherin doesn't necessarily mean evil, but looking at Aqua, she checks off almost every box of a Slytherin. She has a ton of ambition to be a Keyblade Master, and then later to pursue that leadership, another trait. And she's also very resourceful with her magical skills, helping the trio out a lot, and shows a lot of self-preservation. Get prepared, because there's actually surprisingly a lot of Slytherins in Kingdom Hearts. I would also put Terra in Slytherin. Terra was one I couldn't really find a good fit for, as he showed a bit of traits from every house, but I think his ambition and leadership traits would be more than enough to put him in Slytherin along with Aqua. And then for Ventus, I think he would fit pretty well in Hufflepuff. He's very similar to Sora, especially in regards to the loyalty with his friends, as well as he also shows a lot of dedication from his time as a dandelion. Unfortunately, Hufflepuffs aren't known for combats because, yeah, Vin's got that in spades.
It's always about your friends, isn't it? At least I have some.
This next one will probably twist your mind, but I would actually put King Mickey into Slytherin. He shows a lot of traits of a Ravenclaw as well, but looking overall, I think he just fits more into Slytherin. First up, his leadership isn't a doubt. For one, he's a king, so he naturally hits into a leadership role in the Guardians. He also shows a lot of self-preservation. He's very ambitious, deciding to leave his world to fix the other worlds, and he is very resourceful, having been able to survive a lot on his own, and traveling places normally unable to survive in. Next up is the Goof Master. Nothing crazy here, Goofy would belong in Gryffindor. Being a royal knight, he's naturally brave, but even situations like saving Mickey from the boulder, deciding with Donald to fight alongside the Guardians even without Keyblades, and just in every situation when a problem comes up, he doesn't even hesitate to jump to want to help. Going off of that, I would also put Donald in Gryffindor. For the same reason I discussed with Goofy, I just want to add on how he used Zetaflare when he probably knew it was going to kill him. Let's start tackling some villains. I think Luxord would fit really well into Ravenclaw, especially coming off of the back of Remind. Luxord is a very intelligent character. He also has a lot of wit and curiosity, and even creativity, especially with how he's integrated into the pirates world, being able to come up with plans to outsmart the pirates at their own game. I also think Baxton would belong well in Ravenclaw. Being a scientist, he's already very intelligent and full of knowledge, and he's a very curious person when looking at his experiments with the replica program. Zigbar, or Lushu, whichever you prefer, is probably one of the biggest examples of a Slytherin on this list. He's got huge ambition with his mission for the Masters of Master. He's extremely cunning and shows tons of leadership, as he's seeming to be working alongside the Master of Masters to lead the Foretellers in their goals. And I'm sure we're going to get even more shown of his true self in Kingdom Hearts 4. Our next choice is an interesting one. I honestly couldn't think of a clear choice for Larxene and Demyx. They both have a trait or two from each of the houses, but neither to me have a clear definitive choice. You could maybe argue Larxene and Slytherin, but I honestly don't know a single house Demyx falls into perfectly. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below which house you think either Demyx or Larxene belong in, and why. While you're there, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page so you can see more of my content, as well as it helps spread it to more viewers. Every bit of support is very much appreciated. Up next we have Saïx, or Isa, whichever you prefer to call him. I think he would fit well into Gryffindor myself. He and Axel were both extremely brave and daring as kids to join Ansem the Wise in pursuit of saving Subject X, and still even so as he works to gain Xemnas' trust in the organization. He also shows a lot of chivalry in how he handles running things in the organization in 358 Days. Axel would also belong in Gryffindor, for the same reason I mentioned with Saïx for when they were kids with Subject X, but also in considering how he had to keep an eye out and even eliminate any traitors in Castle Oblivion, which definitely took a lot of nerve and bravery. But probably, and most importantly, is with his relationship to Roxas and Xion. It took a lot of bravery and nerve to join the Guardians, learn how to use the Keyblade, and even fight against his old group, including his best friend since childhood. Xion would be a Hufflepuff. She's very loyal to her friends, and she's very hardworking as when looking at her struggles with using the Keyblade in Days. And she shows dedication when she makes the decision to return to Sora alongside Riku, despite Roxas' attempts to bring her back. Speaking of Roxas, I think he makes a great Gryffindor. He completely rebelled against the organization, leaving it to find out who he is and his connection to Sora. This takes a lot of nerve and bravery to pull off. Roxas never hesitated to do what was needed to be done, not to mention my man was going to fight Heartless with a stick. Naminé was kind of hard to figure out, but ultimately I think she works well in Hufflepuff. I mentioned earlier that I thought Kairi would possibly be sorted into Hufflepuff, and I think that translates here. Being Kairi's nobody, she takes a lot after those traits from Kairi herself. For Marluxia, I don't think there's much argument that he belongs in Slytherin. Leading a coup against the organization takes a lot of ambition and leadership, as well as he shows a ton of resourcefulness and cunning qualities in him. Even looking at his past as Laurium, he was still a pretty ambitious and cunning character. Next up is Vanitas. Again, I don't think there's much argument that Vanitas would be in Slytherin. He's extremely cunning and resourceful, as well as he shows a lot of ambition towards Xehanort's cause as a seeker of darkness. Speaking of the bald man himself, Xehanort, no surprise here, is definitely a Slytherin. He checks off literally every single box of a Slytherin. He's ambitious in his cause, shows tons of leadership and self-preservation, and he's very cunning and resourceful. Not much of a hard choice there, he pretty much fits perfectly. Now for one that might be a shocker. I think Ericus would also fit great into Slytherin. He also checks off almost every box of a Slytherin, minus cunning, as I don't think he really fits that well. It makes sense when you look at it though, because Xehanort and Ericus both trained and basically grew up together. And when you look at it, he's like a mirror version of Xehanort, just with preserving the light. Just to knock out two pretty simple and easy ones, Xemnas and Ansem would both be in Slytherin. Not much to elaborate here, they're basically the same as Xehanort, being his nobody and his Heartless. They both share a lot of ambition, leadership, and cunningness. Man, it's like we're on a huge Slytherin streak right now. Finally, taking a break from all the Slytherins, we're going to handle Diz, or Ansem the Wise, next. Similar to his namesake, I'm going to put Ansem the Wise into Ravenclaw. He shows a lot of knowledge and curiosity with his studies in the Realms and the Heartless. And he's obviously a very intelligent person, being able to figure out the existence of unreality going forward into Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm also going to put Zexion, or Ienzo, whichever you prefer to say, into Ravenclaw. Similar to his father figure Ansem the Wise, he's a very intelligent person helping figure out how the replicas worked in Kingdom Hearts 3, and being creative enough to figure out how to use it for themselves to bring people like Roxy and Naminé back. Last but not least, we have Yensid, the leader of the Guardians of Light himself. Yensid would be in Ravenclaw. I'm not gonna lie, I almost put him into Slytherin as he's very similar to Xehanort and Ericus with his leadership and self-preservation traits. However, I think overall he fits more into that intelligence, knowledge, and curiosity aspect. He's one of the smartest and wisest people in the Kingdom Hearts universe, and I think that really makes up a lot of his personality. And that's it! Every major Kingdom Hearts character sorted into a Hogwarts house. Once again, if you have any of your own opinions, please let me know what you think. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe as that greatly helps out the content and the channel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.